back to my channel. It's Nicole. In today's video, we are going to be making a DIY tree. If you want to see everything that we get into, go ahead and keep watching. All right, y'all. So for this DIY tree, I want it to be kind of a different tree. I know we're all kind of used to seeing trees that have like one trunk and then all of the branches coming out at the top, but this tree is going to look something like these. I really love how these trees look. I love that they have so many trunks coming up. It kind of reminds me of a crepe myrtle, and when people turn them into trees, I absolutely love how those look. So I'm really excited to try and DIY a tree that looks like this. And I really love how it only has leaves at the top and really no leaves at the bottom, and you can just see all of the organic trunks coming up from the bottom. So yeah, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this DIY. So y'all, the first thing that we're gonna need to start this DIY tree is gonna be a tree branch. So hopefully you can find a tree branch for free out in your backyard, or maybe at a park, a fallen tree branch or something like that. And you can choose any type of tree branch that you want. If you want a normal type of a tree that has one trunk and all of the branches coming out and is a tall tree, hopefully you find a branch that looks like that. Or you can do one that's gonna look kind of like the type of tree I wanna make, that has just all sorts of little branches coming out from the pot. Let's go ahead and find a tree branch to make our DIY tree. So I got really lucky that I had trimmed this tree earlier in the springtime, and we haven't had a chance to take all of the branches out to dispose of them yet. So I still had a bunch of branches here at home, and I just decided to go through these and see which one I thought looked the most like the tree that I want to create. And then after I picked my tree branch, I went ahead and removed all of the leaves from it. The next thing we need to do is find the greenery for our tree. So I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby and hopefully we can find some really nice greenery there. Let's go ahead and go. These are so cute. Well, way too little. Of course, the magnolia leaves are beautiful. I really like these too. For something else, of course, not for the tree. I like these a lot. I just wish they weren't so lime green. The size is like perfect because you have some really big leaves, smaller leaves, but it's too lime green. Let's see if we can find one that's not that bright. These are pretty. This might be it, actually. Okay, let's keep looking and we'll come back. So once I got back from Hobby Lobby, it was time to DIY the tree. So this is really easy. All you're gonna need is a hot glue gun and some hot glue, and we're just gonna hot glue the different leaves onto the tree. And this part is really cool because you can be as creative as you want and add as many leaves as you want, or don't add so many if that's how you want your tree to look. It's absolutely up to you. And the cool thing is all trees are unique. So really whatever you end up doing, it's gonna look really good and it's gonna be unique to your own style. All right, y'all, so here we are in my craft room. We are gonna go ahead and add the leaves to our DIY tree. Now, I wanted to share with you guys what I'm gonna be using as the base for the tree. That way, if I don't end up liking the pot that I'm making and I wanna switch it to a basket or anything like that, I can go ahead and move the tree around. So what I'm gonna use is gonna be just an old terracotta pot that I'm not doing anything with. The hole on this is actually the perfect size for the trunk of our little DIY tree to fit in. I already tried it. So I'm just gonna stick it in through right here, but then once I do that, it ends up a little bit wobbly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some floral foam into the terracotta pot. That way, hopefully when the stick goes in through here, it will also hit the foam, and then that'll be kind of like a double layer and it'll hold it in there really nice and sturdy. So let's go ahead and try it and see how that turns out. All right, so here it is, y'all. Nice and sturdy in there. It definitely is not going anywhere. Let's go ahead and let me show you guys the leaves that I got at Hobby Lobby, and then we can go ahead and start adding them to the tree. All right, y'all, so I did end up picking up the leaves that I told you guys that I thought were like kind of the best looking, which is gonna be this bushel right here. I picked 2 of these up. These were each $10.99, but of course, or these were each $19.99, I'm sorry. But they were 50% off this week. So I grabbed 2 of them for essentially $19.99. And then I grabbed one other one that was kind of in the front floral sections. And that was this one right here. It's the exact same leaves and everything. It's just kind of a smaller bushel. This one was only $10.99, so about $5.50 with the 50% off. So altogether, I feel like that's gonna be the perfect amount of leaves. Y'all saw the example of what I want this tree to look like, and there are not a lot of leaves on this type of tree. There's mainly just leaves at the top branches of these trees. So that's kind of how I want mine to look. So what I'm gonna start by doing is, I think I'm just gonna pop the leaves off, y'all, just like that. These are really easy to take apart. All of the florals usually are. You just kind of pop them off like that. And then we have 2 leaves at a time. I think the idea is gonna be to add a couple of leaves at a time. That way I can kind of step back and see how it all looks. And hopefully it won't turn out too kind of fake tree looking, and it'll turn out really cute. So let's go ahead and get into adding the leaves. Okay, so I have a picture of what I want the tree to look like on my tablet right over here. I'm gonna keep looking at it to make sure that I'm making the tree look as much like the actual tree that I want it to look like as possible. So what I think I need to start with is really small leaves at the top branches and then work my way down to larger leaves. So that is what we're gonna start with, y'all. So after I started adding the small leaves, I realized that the easiest thing to do would be to take all of the leaves off of each bushel and then separate them out to their different sizes. That way I would know which ones to pick for which part of the tree. So as you can tell right here, I just got lucky that the little tiny branches that came off of this big branch that I chose were small enough that the little holes in the leaves could kind of fit through, and I could just kind of thread them through with some hot glue, then they would stay in the position that I wanted them to. All right, y'all, let me show you where we're at with this tree. I absolutely love how it's coming out. So I really like that it was really sparse in the picture, my little inspiration picture. So I really like how it's looking at the top. Now moving towards the bottom, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut most of the little scraggly branches off. Probably gonna leave this one and that one right there and then put some leaves on those and see how that looks. But let's go ahead and cut off all the little branches that I don't want and see how it turns out. Also, I want to let you guys know I went and got a bigger pot because the little pot that it was in was not good enough for the fact that I guess once I started putting all of the leaves on, it got really heavy. So I just did the same thing, turned this pot upside down, stuck the stem in, and the little pot that it was in is actually under this pot with the foam in it. So it is in this pot, then it's inside the foam in the other little pot down there. And then just for extra reinforcement, I'm sure there's a better way I could have done this, but I added some hot glue just to kind of hold it in more. And thus far it's holding really well. So yeah. So now that I'm down here trimming, I actually think that I am gonna trim this part off. I really like that all of the foliage is at the top. So let's go ahead and just take these off as well. All right, y'all, so now that the tree is done, I wanted to share with you all the pot that I'm gonna put the tree in, and it is this pot right here. I think this pot is absolutely beautiful. So what I really wanted was a vintage crock to put this tree in. However, they are very hard to find here in my area, especially because I want like a 4-gallon one and I haven't been able to find one in that size. So if I can't find one in the next couple of months, then I might just splurge on one, ordering it on eBay or something like that. Then of course I'm gonna have to pay the shipping for something that heavy, but we picked this pot up at Home Depot and I did feel like it does look a little bit like a crock, so I think it'll work. Also, it was a terracotta color like you can see in here. However, hubby went ahead and spray painted it for me in an almond color. I will show you guys the can here in a second, but I really like how it looks. Let's go ahead and put the tree in it. And I also wanted to share with you all that I am gonna add in some Walmart bags at the bottom after I put the tree in, and then I'm just gonna add some actual potting soil in there so that it looks like the tree is really real. So this is what it's looking like with the Walmart bags in there. I wanted to add them just so that I don't have to add so much potting soil in. Now let's go ahead and add the potting soil just to fill it up so that, like I said, it'll look like a nice real tree. All right, y'all, so it is done and it is potted. What do you guys think? I absolutely love it, and I really love how it kind of fills this awkward space between the coffee bar and our little water machine. I really, really love how it turned out. All right, y'all, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed watching me make this DIY tree. If y'all were ever thinking of making your own tree, you should definitely look into it, because y'all, this tree only ended up costing me $27 in the Greenery from Hobby Lobby, and I had a lot of Greenery left over. I could probably make another small tree from the Greenery that I had left over. So if I were to actually calculate it, it probably only ended up costing around $20. And then the pot was from Home Depot, and that pot cost me $15. I didn't really take the pot into account of the actual whole cost of the DIY tree, because if y'all have ever searched for trees online, They don't usually come with a nice decorative pot. They just come in a little counterweighted pot. You are supposed to put the artificial tree into whatever type of pot that you want to put it in. So I'm not going to count the pot as part of the cost of our DIY, but even if you did count it, that's still a steal of a deal, y'all. And it was also super easy to make and just a lot of fun in general to place the leaves however I wanted and to make a really unique and personalized tree for myself. And now I will be on the hunt for a vintage crock. Hopefully I can find one soon so that I can put this beautiful tree into. I think it's gonna look really, really beautiful with a vintage crock. So yeah, y'all, that's gonna be it for this week's video. I will see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.